Welcome to the Lou Fruitman Rena Residence Garden. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the conservation of water and how to go through the steps that it takes to make sure that your container has enough water as we proceed throughout the season. What we're looking at here today is a rain barrel that we've placed outside. Rena actually has a really fantastic gray water system. So at the top of the building is actually a whole lot of drains that come down to the bottom of the building where there's a giant cistern, and basically a giant concrete block that fills with water that we actually have access to. But since we're growing food, we've decided to not take any chances. That gray water could have any type of contaminant in it. So what we want to do is still use the tap water. But if you had a rain barrel, that would be ideal. What the rain barrel essentially does is take the spout off any eaves trough and continually just funnel the water into this barrel. So we have a tap here for those residents who are in a wheelchair or who need easy access, but we also have a spout down at the very bottom. So because it's gravity fed, we're gonna have pressure coming out the bottom into a hose. So we could do that one of two ways, but the main point is that the residents can come now and fill up their own containers. We actually have watering cans that they can use, fill up the watering can and bring it over to their container and fill it from there. So I have a container in front of me here with some cucumber, and we have still our covers beside us here. So one main thing that I want to talk about is why is it black on one side and white on the other? So essentially, now that we're at the end of May, the weather has warmed up and we don't have to worry too much about keeping the soil warm. But if it was a little bit earlier, what we would want to do is attract the heat by putting the black side up. Now it's a little warmer out, we want to reflect the heat and reflect the sun so that we can keep all the water and the humidity in the container itself. So what we want to do, as always, is we come along with our water and fill up the spout. And again, you're just going to do that until you start to see the water come out the sides. So we've had quite a bit of rain in the last couple days, so we have a very, very wet container, which is perfect. We can't overwater, so you don't have to worry about that. So once you have the water in the container, the main idea is to make sure that you are keeping it in there. So what this does is make it so that you're watering a lot less. So go ahead and take the plastic and put it over top of the container on all sides. And then ideally, once you're finished, you're gonna poke a hole exactly where the plant is coming out. So that hole, once you've done that, is just big enough for this plant to continue to receive the sunlight that it needs and for the soil to keep the water in it. So if you are worried about watering, the biggest thing I can tell you is that every couple weeks, if it's been very hot out, you want to check on your container every couple weeks. The idea is that you're also checking for pests at the same time that you're making sure that you're keeping your water moist, or excuse me, your soil moist. So it's kind of an involved process to not let your container go more than a couple weeks before you check on it.